Hey YouTube, it's Chris, Wes over Briars. It's been a couple of weeks. Been quite busy. I've got a fair amount to talk about, but all interesting, I think. I've been quite busy on the pipe making front, and yes, I've got a few bits to tell you. Um, I'm off to the UK in a couple of weeks, so I've been making some pipes to bring with me. I'll be seeing friends and family, so if any of them are wanting to pick up a pipe, it's nice to have some stuff with me. But there's been no promises or anything like that. It's just I feel rude if I don't bring some stuff with me, these days. So some of it may be coming back, which if it's available, I'll make you all aware. Um, so yeah, um, no pipe making today for two reasons really. It's a bank holiday, uh, religious holiday in France, All Saints Day I think, 1st of November on the Catholic calendar. Um, so, so yeah, and the other reason is I rolled my ankle yesterday, um, not concentrating, and I suffer from weak ankles, and I'm starting to get old. But yeah, it's kind of anecdotally. There's so much I love about France, and I wouldn't change where I live for the world. Um, Absolutely fantastic place, country, people. But like anywhere, there are some odd things that don't really work, and one of them is as part of their socialist system, uh, certain professions are protected. So, for example, tobacconists are protected in France, um, which means that online tobacco sales are illegal, uh, and um, if you want to buy tobacco, you have to go to a designated tobacconist. Um, and they sort of, these tobacconists, the people that run them, they pay for the privilege as being associated and affiliated with that. And yeah, typically socialist thing, I would think. But one of the things that I'm suffering with today is that you can only buy painkillers from a pharmacy for the same reasons. And because it's a religious holiday, all the pharmacies near me are closed. So I can't get hold of any painkillers, which is nuts when you think about it. But the supermarkets are open, so I'm going to be self-medicating today with a couple of films. This one looked good. There's not an actor in this that I don't like, so I love my films. By the way, it's got Alexander Skarsgård, Bjork's in it, Willem Dafoe, Ethan Hawke, Anya Taylor-Joy, who's my middle-aged man crush with those big eyes. So I should be watching that, and then due to COVID, I never got to go and see this, so I'll be giving that a belt as well at some point today. And then I had a tobacco delivery for the winter, which was nice. I do like Burley only when it's cold, um, and I'm really particular about Burley. That it doesn't work more often than it works for me, so I tend to stick to the same two. And I know people will probably, give me some good Burley blends to try, and I'm always wary of it. It's like when people tell you good aromatics, and that's what happened when I first started smoking pipe tobacco. I started off because my grandfather used to smoke a mix of Gold Block and Clan, which he called Camel Dung. That was his mix, and it smelt really nice. And I tried to replicate it, and it tasted god awful. So um, anyways, so yeah, that happened to me with aromatics. Everyone was like, "Oh, try this, try this, try this," and I ended up buying a load of aromatics. And it turns out I just don't really like aromatics, bar a few. But I had to go through so many blends to find the few that I liked. So believe me when I say I've done the same with Burley, and these are my two. Okay, both McBaron, Old Dark Fired for the Kentucky, love it, and McBaron Navy Flake because the topping on that helps me cope with just plain Burley. I know other tobaccos have Burley in it, but Burley forward tobaccos I'm talking about, those are my two. So I've bought a few of them. for the winter, and I shall crack into them the moment we get a real cold snap. So, gosh, that was quite a long introduction. Anyways, so yeah, like I say, I've got 6 pipes to show you. One is available, so we'll do that one first. If you've been watching my videos, you know I've been sort of doing some filter pipes. This is a 9mm filter pipe, and it's a Love It, Love-At, however you want to call it. I say Love It. And so this is it. So this is handmade with good old Eldritch Yeti Blizzard and nice deep rustication and a smooth top. You can see the drilling just, it went, the light changed on the camera. So yeah, 9mm and available. This is a cordovan and tan stain. Looks black on the camera. It's yeah, it's a brown. Okay, so that's available. I'll put my details in the comments. You can reach me through Messenger or Instagram as usual, or via email. Then I've had a commission that I've been working on this week. I bent the stem this morning. Did all my bowl coatings this morning. So yeah, this was a request from Chris in the US, who's, I think, how many pipes Chris had now? This is 3rd pipe from me now. So here we go. He wanted the rusticated Dublin, and as you can see, it's green, but it's not crazy green. It's just got a green hue. I'm kind of developing a method of stain because I don't like making black pipes. I will make them. I just don't particularly like them. I think you can be more interesting than just black, you know, and it can look black without being black. If that makes sense, it can be dark enough to do the same thing, as the same job, but it can also highlight the, you know, or contrast with the colour of the stem. So this is the marble, the jade marble from Chris Kelly, Eldritch Pipes, and a nice little rusticated Dublin for my man Chris, which will go off in the post tomorrow because the post offices are shut today as well. Bim. Okay. So those 2 to show you. The rest I'm taking to the UK. I'm off on holiday. This is my 3rd take on this video, so if I'm repeating myself, sorry. I'm making pipes for friends and families to get first refusal on, because I'm on holiday for a couple of weeks in the UK in 2 weeks, so I'm trying to get some pipes made, take them over, and you know, so I've got some available stock for people if they want it, but they may well be available when I return, and if they are, I'll do a video with their availability. So I've come into, and I'm quite excited about this. I'm going to have a new range available because I've come into some 40-year-old ebonite stems, French ebonite stems, and 40 years or older stummels, which need hand finishing. So I'll show you an example of those as they come. This one's no good. I've gone through them. It's got some cuts on it and things that go through to the chamber. So he's a poubelle, dustbin as we say in French. And all I've done with these so far, some of them I've needed to drill the shanks in them. They're all slightly different. But I've faced off all of them, and so they can take a stem. Some of them, the ebonite stems are all different widths. So what I've done is I've taken the come on Christopher, the tenon off and fitted my own tenons. Some of the drilling on some of these that were drilled is between sizes. So I'm going to have to hand make some tenons as well. None of which is your problem. They'll all be the same price. But there's quite a lot of work going into them, I suppose, is what I'm trying to highlight. So these, this is a 40-year-old ebonite stem, and no oxidation whatsoever. It's really, really good quality ebonite that I've managed to get here. If it's not oxidized after 40 years, you know, it's pretty good stuff. And then the bowls, I suppose they kind of come like this. I have to shape away there for the transition, and if they're good enough for smooth, they'll be smooth. If they're not good enough for smooth, just by the interest on the grain, really, like I say, I've gone through them and cut out the chaff anyways. But if they're good enough for smooth, they'll be smooth. If they're not, I'm going to rusticate. So as I say, depending on the interest of the grain. So there's a couple of these authors knocking about. I've got some apples. I've got some princes. I've got some reading pipes that I've made, and some big old billiards. So let me show you two examples of those, which I'm going to take to the UK. This is one of the reading pipes. So I did say they're all old French stock. So St Claude is the main region for pipe making, and within St Claude, I guess Chacom is the main manufacturer of pipes. So this lovely little reading pipe is an example of a rusticated finish that I've done. These obviously they're going to be cheaper than my handmade range, goes without saying. So there, and I'm going to call these fledgling pipes. Keep with the Wazo, with the bird theme, because they're kind of reborn from that. And here's a billiard for you to see. I've got to get into making them all, but as you can see, nice. So what I do with regards to hand finishing, I spoke about this, and the facing off, and the drilling for the tenons, sorting out the tenons on the stems. I've also filed the inside and fluted the inside, sorted out the buttons on them. As you can see, that's quite a sharp button that you might expect from a factory pipe. I've smoothed them all off, made them nice and comfy. This one's got a smooth rim. I need to give him a bit of a wipe, but there you go, he's got a smooth rim, nice craggy rustication. And I'm keeping the stain the same for most of these, I think. Well, for these I'm going to keep them the same. So this is a chocolate and tan stained, nice traditional contrast. So any interested in those, you can get in touch with me as well. I know that some people feedback to me that I mean, I don't think I'm expensive compared to some, but it all depends on your budget, doesn't it? So if someone's interested in one of my fledgling pipes, they'll be much cheaper than my handmade pipes. So they may be within your price range. Make myself sound super expensive, I'm not. Okay, so those are there. And then finally, a couple of pipes I've made, handmade myself, to show the guys. I've also got stuff that I've shown you before that I'll be bringing to them as well, and I've got a couple of pipes left to make in the workshop. So I made this Canadian. Finished him yesterday. Give him a wipe. Nice Canadian. And for a change, I've used an acrylic material here. Chris doesn't do this tortoisey stuff yet. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I guess it's pretty hard to do in resin, to be fair, given that it looks like pieces that have been smashed up and then heated back together again. It's kind of cool stuff. I do like a Canadian. They're lots of work, but when you get them nice and thin, they're super elegant pipes. Really light, really nice pipes. Tactile. And I had a go at a Rhodesian. So I've made a few bulldogs before, but never made a Rhodesian. So I thought I'd turn my hand to that. And again, having started doing the ebonite stems, the smell's kind of nice when you work. Well, you either love it or you hate it. I kind of like it. Sulphurous smell. So I had a bit of Cumberland knocking around. And yeah, made this chap. Got a horn ring, accent ring, attached to the shank. Really like this shape actually. I'm going to make more of these. Because they really lend themselves to those nice sort of domed tops. Nice straight grain going around. Yeah. And I opted for a sort of a 18mm chamber so I could make the most of the bird's eye on the rim, you know, rather than having it be taken up with chamber. So you may notice my pipes are looking a bit shiny, you may not. A bit shinier than they have done in the past. With the sales of the last month and a half, I've been able to invest in the business for the first time since I started doing it, which was really nice. And I've bought and made, with the help of Bruno Nuttins, a buffing setup, which is really seriously making a difference to my capabilities in the workshop, which is nice. And then yesterday, I had a nice 12-inch disc sander arrive. So I'm getting there with my equipment. It's kind of nice to be putting back into the business. Really enjoyable. Anyways, I've been going on for much longer than usual, but I've had a lot to show you, and there will be more to show you. I'll show you my new equipment in the next video. That's what I'll do. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get into my movies and relaxing and try and ignore my ankle for a bit. And yeah, everyone have a great day. All the best.